I had a lot of complications. I was in and out of ICU for like 10 days. It was pretty awful. But that was like the nail in the coffin for me because I didn't want the stress anymore of owning.
Welcome to Built in Vegas, the podcast where we spotlight the stories, strategies, and resources behind the businesses that make Vegas thrive. Whether you're starting up or scaling up, you're in the right place. Brought to you by the Video Podcast Studio.
Did you always know that you wanted to be an entrepreneur? Like when you were growing up, was that kind of like something you wanted to be, or how did you kind of fall into entrepreneurship?
So it was not something I wanted. I wanted to be a lawyer, and I went to school for political science, and then I decided I didn't want to be miserable because every attorney I met hated their lives. And so from there, I kind of dabbled in technology, like mobile technology, AT&T, Sprint, and one day I went to, this was in Indianapolis, and I went to a wine and canvas there, and I was like, oh, I can paint. And I was a self-proclaimed artist at that point. And then I started thinking, I wanted a ticket out of Indiana. And I thought, how could I leave? Why don't I buy one of these franchises and move to Las Vegas? There was no plan. This was like almost like throwing a dart at a map. I was just like, Vegas sounds great. I was 25 years old. This sounds amazing. I told my parents. They laughed at me. And I was like, I'm doing this. I'm going to do this. And they were like, okay, Kristina, this is another one of your great ideas. But 3 weeks later, I bought it. I counted my pennies. I did what I had to do, and I bought it. And 2 weeks after that, I was on a plane out here. And that was 2011. So that's how I ended up here.
That's crazy. That's a big leap of faith, too, because not only are you starting a business, right, kind of from scratch, but with no experience, but you're also moving to a new city.
Yes, it was.
How was that transition?
Wild. We moved to Indiana in 96. So I was born in New York. All my family was in New York, and I was very much New York. And going to Indiana, I stuck out like a sore thumb. My whole family did. We talked funny. We looked funny. We ate funny things. We were Italian. So I just knew I didn't want to stay there forever. So my parents used to come to Vegas a lot when we were kids, and it would take us, we were the kids on the Strip, and I loved it here. I loved everything about it. I loved the fact that my hair didn't look bad because it wasn't frizzy, and my skin looked nice because the weather is so dry, and I just really, there was no snow. I hated snow. So I just came here, and I just didn't care. I was like, I'll figure it out. I always figure everything out. Like, I just roll with the punches, and I was going to roll with this.
For you, what was one of the hardest parts of starting that business?
Gosh. Doing it all by yourself, that was hard because I didn't have a business background, and I wasn't the greatest with money in my 20s. So having to figure out how to grow something organically, but I didn't know anybody here. So what I did was I just pounded pavement. I went out grassroots marketing. I knew that because I had done sales for Sprint. So I knew about going into businesses and just talking. So I would go in, I'd bring a business card, a gift certificate, a little bit of information, and I would invite people to go to our website and look and check out, what we had to offer. And at that point in time, we didn't have a studio. We were just all over the city in different restaurants. But that was helpful because I would make partnerships with the restaurants and start talking to people there, and they had their friends come in, and so it just grew from that point on.
Awesome. Sorry, my guy was texting me. What did you find to be one of the most successful ways for the grassroots marketing? Was it giving the discounts? Like, how did you build relationships with people?
So from ever since then to now, like, I've been a storyteller and a relationship builder, and to me, getting to know somebody and talking to them was the best way for them to want to come and participate. And even now, like, people do business with people that they like, know, and trust. And I will sing that from the rooftops. They're not going to do business with someone who's cold calling them. They have to know you and they have to trust you to want to work with you.
Awesome. Was there like a method or like a way that you were doing that to like kind of build that relationship and build that trust?
A lot of asking questions and just a lot of talking, and I mean, and telling my story of how I ended up in Las Vegas, and people were interested in it when it came to wine and canvas, but they were also interested in drinking and painting. And I think the business itself sold itself more than me doing it, because it was fun and it was cheap and it was a fun night out, and people like that. And they're looking for something different. Yeah.
I feel like oftentimes there's businesses or business owners, they make a lot of excuses not to get out there and get face-to-face to people, whether that's like a chamber event or whatever, and they think that if we build it, they'll come, right? Like, people just feel that way.
Yeah.
And you have to get out there. Like, I just was at a networking event this morning. I was at another one last night, and I'm so bad about going to networking events because I don't really like them, right? Like, I just don't. It's awkward. I don't like going up to people and interrupting conversations and what do you do, right? Like, it's just so hard. But I met some really cool people last 2 nights, and it was like, oh yeah, this is why like I have to go out there and meet more people, not just do social media and then hide in our studio.
Right.
But I think it's something that holds a lot of small businesses back. And then I think a lot of people that do go out and network then do it very wrong, because it's like all they do is like, here's my business card, and they don't focus on building relationships. And I was definitely that person back in the day, for sure. Like, I definitely did that same type of mistake of like literally just going and looking for the sale versus like going and trying to find like some cool people I can connect with. Like, maybe I can send someone to you and be more like a connection hub, and that kind of pays it back better than just trying to go and get a sell.
So I noticed that you have to be uncomfortable to get yourself comfortable. And going out to these events where you don't know anybody, I mean, is the only way I was going to meet anybody that was interested in doing business with me. Or at least, like you said, like, if I meet someone who knows somebody else, and it just opens other doors, and that's part of it, is just a connection, not necessarily the sale. I mean, if you start connecting with people, the sales come later.
Yeah, that's one thing that I've realized with the studio is, like, I've been in my own business for about 18 years or something like that, like a solopreneur. And I always thought I wasn't transactional. I was like, oh, I'm great at building relationships. But after starting working on the studio and having like a focus of like community connection, I realized how like transactional I've really been in the past. And that the only time I was ever like, oh, hey man, like, how's the family? By the way, like, do you have work for me? And I was like, wait, that's very transactional.
Yeah, it doesn't work that way.
That was literally every single email. And so like, I've made it a strong purpose to focus on building community, to focus on building relationships with people. Like, we have people that used to use the studio, and I'm still hitting them up going like, hey, let's go to this networking event together. Like, hey, let me introduce you to this person, right? And they're like, oh my gosh, like, thanks. I'm not even using your studio, but you still like are trying to help me, and it's finding those right people to spend that time with. Because I think that's the hardest part too. I think when people are brand new, and I don't know if it was this way for you, you're kind of saying yes to everything and everyone.
Yes.
Which isn't helpful all the time, right? Like, you do need to figure out the right types of people to spend the time with. And that doesn't mean you have to say no to everybody else, but maybe it's a little bit less time or a little bit less dedication, because as a solopreneur, right, you only have so much time, and you're the marketing, you're HR, you're the finances, you're literally everything. Plus, you have to run it, make sure your employees are doing well if you have employees. If not, then you're doing all the work too. And then so on top of that, to have to build a relationship with somebody, it's just so much work.
Right. And when I had Wine and Canvas, that was me. I mean, I was the solopreneur of it. I had employees. I think I had like 10 employees underneath me, especially when we had the studio, because that was, a full service operation. But that was I sold it in 2015. So that was my previous life.
Yeah. What led to that decision to sell?
So I met my now husband at the end of 2014-ish. And I was also going through this like weird situation with facial pain. And I was getting a lot of dental work done. And it was just so weird because it's like I get a root canal. And then it was like, why do I still hurt? And it was like the worst pain. I mean, it was like this episodic, like knife stabbing pain. And it would knock me out when this happened. And this went on for months. And I always had like teeth sensitivity too. I just thought I had bad teeth. Turns out I didn't have bad teeth. Turns out I had a very rare brain disorder called trigeminal neuralgia. And I remember when my doctor told me that, because I just happened to tell him that I was driving cross country with my dad because they had sold the house in Indianapolis and they were moving to Arizona. And as we're driving, just out of nowhere, I just get this like stabbing pain, and it would last for like 45 minutes, and it'd be like tears coming out of my eyes, and I'm like, this is weird. This isn't a migraine. This is very painful. Nothing stops it. So when I tell this to my doctor, he's like, I think you have trigeminal neuralgia. Here, try this drug. I'm going to send you for an MRI. Take this drug, Tegretol. It was awful. It was the worst drug. It knocked me out. I could not even be a functioning member of society. I would just sleep all day. I remember I had hair extensions in my hair that I had to have them cut out because they were so, like, it was like a rat's nest from me just sleeping all the time. I couldn't run a company. So I knew after going through tons of medications, I advocated for myself and told the neurologist that I wanted brain surgery for this, a macrovascular decompression surgery. It was a big surgery where they cut you open and they look to see the trigeminal nerve and they decompress the nerve, wrap it up in Teflon, all that jazz. It was like a 6-hour surgery. I had it at Sunrise Hospital. I had a lot of complications. I was in and out of ICU for like 10 days. It was pretty awful. But that was like the nail in the coffin for me because I didn't want the stress anymore of owning that business. It was very stressful for me. And I realized that I liked owning a business, but I didn't necessarily like that type of business.
Yeah. I mean, I can't even imagine that. I feel like running a business is already so hard.
Yeah, it is.
And then to throw that on top of that, I mean, I'm sure there's so many different feelings and emotions on top of the pain that you're feeling that, I mean, I can't even imagine.
Yeah, it was tough. I had to learn how to walk and talk again. I lost my hearing in my left ear from that surgery, so I'm legally deaf on my left side. But I would do it again. You know why? Because I don't have to live with that awful pain anymore. It was terrible. It was the worst. I mean, and it's the Hail Mary. If it didn't work, I don't know. Well, I don't know. Thank God it worked because I see people. I mean, it's a very rare disease, but I see people who live with that pain every single day or had a failed decompression surgery. And I mean, I'm lucky that I got my life back. It's been 10 years since I had that surgery, and the business sold shortly after that. And after that, I decided that that's when my life was going because I lived forever. Even since I was a kid, I can remember having that pain and just attributing it to my tooth. And I don't have that anymore, obviously, because of the disorder. But I finally was like, I'm going to do everything I possibly can. I lost 100 pounds. I ran 2 marathons. I had my son, Michael, who's been a joy. And I've just, my husband, Anthony, he's been supportive since, I mean, this guy should have probably walked out when this all happened because, we were barely, we'd only been seeing each other less than a year. I mean, any other guy probably would have sayonara dealing with this level of crazy.
Yeah.
Adios. So, but, thankful for him. because he stuck with me through that. And we have a great life now and a wonderful family. And I do attribute to it. I don't know where I would be right now, or if I would still be here because of that brain disease, because that's how awful it was.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, and it's awesome that you have that supportive spouse with you. That's something I've realized, like talking to a few entrepreneurs, like most of them, all conversations typically at least one point in it go back to like how amazing the spouse is for putting up with them, for dealing with these things.
Yes.
Obviously, that's like not even about the entrepreneurship side. That's a whole different field. But even on the entrepreneurship side, like it's not for the faint of heart. There's so much work. And so if you don't have somebody supportive in your corner who believes in you and what you're doing, it's going to be really hard, because there are going to be nights where you don't come home in the beginning. There are going to be nights where you got to work out, or you have to miss certain things, and it's hard. So you need that supportive partner. And so now I know you guys are opening up a new business, right?
Yes.
So tell me about the new business. What are you guys building? And then, what's been one of maybe the hardest parts of opening this compared to your old business?
So a team of 6 of us, we all worked at a medical marketing agency together for several years, and that agency restructured, and we decided to open up our own marketing agency. We called it TrueSound Marketing, and I basically am doing all the social media and new sales, and then I have a whole entire production team behind me as well, and another partner that does sales too, and he's in New York. But it's been wild, because we all have a role and we all know what we're doing. And to watch it kind of come together, we decided in January, again, we just got a wild hair, and we're like, let's do it. Let's just do it. And kind of like with wine and canvas, let's just do it. But again, this time it's not just me. I'm one of 6, and it's been fun, and it's been a lot of work, having to once again build a brand from the ground up. And I'm finding myself now at those networking events again, and going out and talking to people. And I didn't have to do that for several years, but I missed it. I missed owning something that was my own, like that's mine. And I always said that I was the best employee after I had a business, because I knew what it was like to be on the other side. So every time, even when I worked in the previous agency, like I owned what I did. And everything that the output was always like 110%, because I know what it's like to have people that they don't care. And I wasn't going to basically screw an owner, so I'd always work hard. But now being able to do these things again, and seeing it, watching the social media and doing the content creation and talking to people and getting them in and doing the audits, it's a whole nother world. And I like it. I love marketing. I love everything about business and brand development. I love watching other people be successful and helping them, because I feel like I come from a place of experience, because I bought a business, scaled it, sold it, all when I had a brain disease. But it's a testament to see that Wine and Canvas is still in business in the location that I put it. That to me, it's been sold now twice since I had it. That to me is a testament to the foundation that I started. And I feel like that gives me a leg to stand on when I'm talking to people about their business, and I'm seeing what they're doing, to give them that set of eyes that maybe they weren't looking at it from.
Yeah.
Just another perspective.
Yeah, well, I think that's true. I think you being a business owner outside of marketing, having to learn and going through all the struggles of not knowing marketing, and you are able to speak to them differently than people who have been marketers since day
life.
one,
Yeah.
right? Because they don't know what it's like to be a business owner and not understand those things, or be stressed about other stuff, right? And maybe not understand the true value behind the marketing. So I could definitely see that, because myself as a business owner, I feel like our clients connect with us well because we get it. We know what it's like to run a small operation. We know what it's like to be if I'm investing this money, I need a return, right? Like this is food from my kids' table. And so we're able to understand that and guide them and try to help them the best way possible. And sometimes we actually tell them, don't spend your money here. Spend it on X, Y, and Z with marketing instead, because it's a better way for you to kind of get the goals that you want.
Yes.
You know,
that's telling too when you do that, because that's something that I find that I do, because when I look at somebody and I'm like, you don't need to do pay-per-click advertising right now. Like let's allocate that money to something else, because that's not what you need right this very second.
Yeah. And
maybe
I feel like
6 months.
That's refreshing to business owners, because I feel like a lot of these service-based companies, they're just trying to sell anything they can and everything they can, and then upsell you to this, upsell you to that. And a lot of times they don't need this stuff.
No.
You know, a lot of times it's like, let's just do this one thing really well, and that'll help you. And then once you get to this level, then we can talk about doing that stuff.
Right.
It's the same thing. Like, so I've done video production for like 18 years, you know, for businesses. And even back in the day when clients would be like, oh, like, hey, we want to shoot social media stuff. I'm like, okay, so pull out your phone. And don't hire us. I'll give you ideas and stuff, and I'm not going to charge you for it. But pull out your phone and shoot this stuff, because you don't want to hire us to do that. Hire us for these other types of videos, right? I don't want your money. I want to help you be successful. And I don't think the bang for buck is worth it hiring us. Now, I'd say in today's world, there's a lot more production or video guys that specialize in short form content. So maybe it's worth hiring people at this point. But even then, I'm like, dude, pull out your phone. Like,
I know.
You know,
when I know. It's interesting, because when I talk to small businesses, and it's like I see myself, because I had no idea. And it was very easy for me to get kind of, I hate to say it, suckered into stuff, because I trusted people and I thought they were there to help me. I threw a lot of money out when I had Wine and Canvas, because I just didn't know what worked. And it was like throwing spaghetti to the wall to see what was going to stick. And so, I mean, something that I offer my clients is, first of all, I'm not going to sit there and try to sell you something that I know isn't going to work, because we all need to eat, but I'm not going to feast off of you. And if you're doing well, then I'm doing well. So it's in my business for you to thrive, because if you keep thriving, you're going to keep doing marketing, because that's what's working for you and that's what's getting people in the door. And a big difference between us and probably any other marketing agency is that I'm not talking to you about clicks and impressions and conversion rates, because honestly, nobody cares. No one cares. I need to know how many times that phone was ringing. And that's something that we can track, and that's tangible. And then I can coach you even further from that, because who's answering that phone when it rings, and what are they saying? And so it's one step further. It's not just getting them there. Now I'm coaching you on what to do, and coaching your answerer, your front desk, your gatekeeper on what to do from that on to actually get your sale. Because it doesn't matter what business you're in, we're all in the business to make money. Yeah. And when the phone rings, that's money calling.
Well, and I like that too, right? Because a lot of times they need more support than just posting to social media.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
Like how do you follow up with that lead?
Right.
How do you close that lead? Because you get all the leads in the world, but if they're not converting.
Correct.
You know, it's like what I talk about with our clients as well. Like, we don't care about view count. Like, I want you to get a lot of views, but I want the right people to see your views. Right. And I want the people that think this stuff's stupid to not watch it.
Right.
I'd rather you get 20 views from 20 potential customers that watch your podcast episode or your clips and go like, okay, I like this, and then end up calling. Like, I'd way rather that than you getting 2 million views because you had something in your hair, or you fell down, or you said something super polarizing, and then nobody's calling you, nobody's using you, and you're getting views in like China, you know, like, and you service local people here in Vegas. Like,
it doesn't do any good. Yes.
Yeah, and so I like that. Like, I feel like, especially a lot of the people we work with, they need a lot more support and guidance, and so we try to include that just in general. Just like, here's some ideas, here's some things, like, let's talk together. And I think a lot of service-based businesses say they partner with their people, but they don't really. They just sell.
Right.
They sell a partnership, but then they're not really there. Especially in the marketing space, I think it's hard to find good marketing companies that actually care and are there for their
Right.
clients.
Right. I was trained on customer success more than anything. And I believe in the hand holding and listening to those calls and listening to see, so I like to do things. What are your areas of improvement and what are you doing well and how can we get you to the next level? But if I don't have that data, if I don't have the phone calls, if I don't see, what they're saying to their customers, I can't help. So, and that's another thing that falls back with the reviews as well, because I notice a lot of small businesses, they should be focusing on reviews, getting these reviews, because again, like I said earlier, people do business with people they like, know, and trust, and reviews is how you get there. And that's also an easy way to grow organically on Google, because Google likes to see that. They like to see all those reviews. And they also like to see when businesses respond. And you can't just respond to the good stuff. You got to respond to the bad stuff too. And I always tell my clients, that's just a cry for help. They want you to get on the phone and call them, and that's what you need to do. Don't get all I was that person. I used to get snappy. Don't get all snappy. Just pick up the phone and call them. Be like, hey, I saw your review. Let's talk about what happened. We want to fix this problem.
Exactly. Yeah. One thing I learned recently about Google reviews is you also don't want to do a bunch of them at once.
Yes, because it looks fake.
See, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it looks fake.
Because I DM'd all of our clients and stuff. I was like, send me a Google review. So then we got 18 of them in one day. And then I found out 2 months later that that's bad. So now I'm trying to be a little more all right, let me pick these 3 clients and ask them to do it.
Yes.
And then I'll pick these 3 clients. And so I'm trying to be better about the Google review thing, because we get people finding us on Google, booking our website. And I know the reviews have a part in that, because we have, 5 stars. I think we're at 28 reviews right now.
Yes.
Which isn't amazing, but it's also not bad. And, I want to make it more of a practice where it's maybe it's just something that we automate, where it's hey, after every session, an email goes out and maybe there's a small offer with it of, hey, we'll give you 5 free short clips from your episode if you write us a review, something like that, to try to encourage people to do them. So
we do that. We do that. It's there is a program that we use where it links up to your database, and when you say okay, you close out that person, then it will send the review request to them, and it will text them or email them or both, and it usually does it on a 7-day drip. So three emails over the course of 7 days, and then after that it doesn't touch them for 180 days. But if you open it up and leave that review after the first, it doesn't bother them the rest of the 7 days. So it's not an irritant. It's not going to keep doing it over and over again, because there's nothing more annoying than that.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah, so, you don't want to annoy people.
Yes. So that's part of the whole brand development and building, is getting the reviews up. And that's always the first thing I tell my clients is you need reviews, and then we can get your local SEO going. But what people don't realize is that the more reviews you have, then you'll be seen in that top 3. We call it the snack pack on Google. And those top 3, that's all organic. They don't pay for that unless it says sponsored. So the more reviews you have, they put you up there.
That's awesome. Yeah, well, that's my goal. Because I feel like we could probably get close to 100 reviews if we're good about
easily
doing it, because people love coming here. But we have to do the ask, because people don't just naturally do it. And I always think about it, and I always forget about it, but I'm thinking about Yelp. Most of the reviews I'm going to see are kind of negative, because people only want to voice the negativity. And even myself, I've only written 1 review once, and it was a bad review because I took my camera to a camera shop and then they broke it. And then they just handed it back to me broken, and they're bye. And I was like, are you kidding me? And then the owner called me immediately from my bad review and took care of it, and I took down the review. But, we have to reach out. You have to be proactive to get those good reviews. And most of the time your clients are more than happy to do it. They just don't know how. And so you have to have something like the system you're talking about to encourage it, and those reviews that matter. I mean, especially on the Google rankings and everything like that. Once again, that's something that we're trying to be better about, because we want to be one of the highest reviewed and with the most reviews in town. And I know we can, because our clients want to help us.
So one of the keys would be not just doing that system, but then reminding your clients when they're done, hey, you're going to get an email tomorrow. It's good. It's not spam. It's going to come from us. It's asking you to leave us a review. So if you had a great time, like, we would love for you to have a review, leave us a good review. If you didn't have a good time, well, let's talk about that right now.
Yeah. Well,
please talk to me.
If they didn't have a good time, then they're not getting the email.
Right. And actually, you can do it that way.
Yeah.
So you don't have to do it to every single person.
Exactly.
There's ways to manipulate it. So
Although if we had a client who didn't have a good time in the studio, we've already taken care of it to make sure that they're taken care of, because even if they didn't have a good time, we want to make sure either we're refunding them or we're making it right, giving them a different session, fixing it. Hasn't happened often. And most of the mistakes we had were very early on in opening, which we knew we were going to have. And then we just went above and beyond making it right, like overcorrecting, right? Because I'd rather do that, and it cost me money to make it right. Even if they never come back because they maybe can't trust us anymore, they still have that good impression that we took care of them.
Yes.
We had one client where a drive didn't work properly during the filming, and it was a new issue we've never seen before.
Okay.
And there was a tell that this was happening, but we didn't know that. And like, this thing was kind of like blinking, but we're like, I don't know what that means. Like, this is weird. Like, what is that? And we got it back, and like the drive just kind of like wasn't working properly, so it kept skipping on the recording. And, we tried to make it work still, but it just wasn't. So I called her up and I was like, look, I'm going to refund you fully. We're going to redo all these completely free, and I'll give you another free session. Like, I'm so sorry. Like, this is out of our control. This is something that we've never seen happen. And she's like, oh, you don't have to refund me. Like, yeah, I'll just come back and redo them. I was like, no, we're going to refund you completely. Like, you're not paying for this. This was our fault, because, and she ended up kind of like stopping her podcast journey just for other reasons, but she referred us to a really good client who shoots with us every single month now because we went out of our way to do that. And I think so many businesses take it like personally when like somebody's upset or writes something on a Google review, like, but I think if you handle it the right way, you can turn that negative interaction into a positive one, where even if, once again, maybe they'll never come here again, they had a positive interaction with you. Right. They're not going to be bad mouthing you out town. And Vegas is a small town.
Oh, yes.
So if you're serving local businesses, it's growing, it's getting bigger, but it really is crazy how small and connected everything is. I don't want people going around talking bad about our studio or being like, oh, they screwed up, whatever. So like, we make sure and it's also just our nature of like how we run everything, that like, if something were to happen, we overkill and make sure we make it right, so I think more businesses need to learn how to do that in customer service.
I agree. I think with the integration of AI or the inception of AI, and people, COVID happened, nobody wanted to leave, and I feel like we're still kind of like at the tail end of people still not wanting to like interact, and humans need to have interaction. There needs to be like a human approach to this. It's same with marketing. I mean, it can't just be all like, I'm going to make a video. Like, it has to be, like, I have to be able to talk to you. Like, nobody wants to pick up a phone and talk to a robot.
Yeah. No, I think with this AI push and everything that's happened in the past, there's this like need for more interaction, right? Because we are social creatures. And that's one thing I think people forget about their marketing too, is like, this isn't just content. Like, you're building relationships with people. There's people on the other side of that phone.
Correct.
You're talking to them. You're helping them. This isn't just an opportunity to create content. Like, we are going to be doing a campaign pretty much that says create less. Like, because we don't want you to create. We want you to connect. Right, so create less, connect more is kind of like our concept in the studio. And of course, you're going to get content creation from it, like podcasting, like you're building relationships with people while you're creating some content. So you're creating, but like for me, the more important part of this stuff isn't the content we get from it. It's the relationships that we get to do, the people I get to meet, the people I get to go, cool, I really like this person. How do I refer them work? How do I build something with them? Maybe get them as a client. Or cool, this is somebody we don't want in the studio, right? And I can kind of use it as that interaction and building that relationship with people. And then the plus side is that content creation. So it's always funny because when people come to us, we're always like, screw content, screw your podcast. Like, build relationships with people.
Right.
And that is the content. And when you kind of go around the people-centered approach, that's when you can really build that trust, that likability, and that relationship, because you're showing that you care. Yes. You're a little bit more authentic, and it's not so focused on just creating content to create content and be scripted, and AI wrote it, and you can tell there's no personality. It's not you. It's just you're saying the same thing that everybody else has said, and you're not really building relationships with people. And so, yeah, it's always funny because we're kind of like a content creation studio, and we're like, don't create content. And then people are like, what? So, or I'm actually going to make some shirts and stuff and hats soon that say just create less on it. And that's going to be like our campaign, I guess.
Well, I mean, you can create as much as you want, but that's not, I mean, it's, if you don't, it's like with a lead. I can give you all the leads, but if you're not there, if you're not authentic, like, it's not going to do any good for you.
Yeah.
So it's like if you post something and you don't interact with the people that are talking on it, then, or answering questions or messages, like, it's not getting you anywhere.
Yeah, you're supposed to be social. You're supposed to build relationships.
Well, yeah,
with
but
these
you're
people.
behind your computer, so people don't realize that.
What is like the biggest piece of advice that you'd give an entrepreneur, whether it's about marketing or just entrepreneurship in general?
Whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. That has been with me since the get-go. And it was all about believing in myself. Everyone else could tell me I'm not going to do it. And even with TrueSound Marketing, there's been lots of naysayers, but as long as I believe in myself and my team believes in themselves, I mean, we can just keep moving forward.
Where can people find out more information about you and TrueSound?
TrueSoundMarketing.com, as well as my social media, Kristina Pelli-Filicamo. I'm all over it.
Welcome to Built in Vegas, the podcast where we spotlight the stories, strategies, and resources behind the businesses that make Vegas thrive. Whether you're starting up or scaling up, you're in the right place. Brought to you by the Video Podcast Studio.